heavy. So these Navy people, really bright people, right?
PhD.
The wife had a PhD, so she's a doctor. The husband's an engineer, probably got his PhD in that. Nuclear subs. Selling information to the Allies. There it is. They say they don't understand. They had the FBI watching this thing from the start. They say that the Allies let the FBI in, and this guy's interested in selling us something here. Maybe they're just checking to make sure they're not being watched. Next time around, they can feel more confident and just buy the shit.
I hadn't thought of that. That's why I just feel like there's so much more to the story that's going to unfold.
So, yeah. So they're two bright people. As she said, it was $100,000, but that was just a down payment, I'm sure. But
$100,000 is...
I was thinking that, and
risk.
then I realized,
little children. And
do your little, how much money to save the world, baby?
$1 billion.
$1 million, sir.
Yeah.
And there's a guy with an eye patch again. Eye patches keep coming back up. That might be the key word that we're dreaming right now. Eye patches. They keep coming up. That Steve Patch from Days of Our Lives, he hadn't come up, but he just did to me.
Yeah.
My dad was
I had a
watching
crush on him. Yeah, he was
Patch,
cute.
and then he was the evil guy, and then he became a cop too. Everybody became, he was Bo's enemy. Then they were friends, and he got a glass eye, and they were at a funeral, and he lost the glass eye. Then, oh shit, I've been saving for this for 30 years. I don't even know. It's the same way they put Catholicism on us. I don't remember any religious classes. So then you got them, and I'm thinking, you're right, 100,000 isn't even much. Think about it, if you're getting ready to sell, I'm amazed.
You can't even buy a house for that anymore. I'm not saying it's not a lot of money. That's a lot
They're
of money.
making that kind of money.
To risk.
Between them, what do you want? Take a year off?
The risk and reward.
Write your fucking memoirs? What are you going to do in that year? You're living off that money. So, yeah. And then I say, well, it could be. We're looking for all these riddles and mysteries. It'd have to be, I hate to say it, but $500 million. I think I would need to, if I were the first person sharing this information, it's amazing me. It's not all out there on the internet right now. But $500 million. Go real Dr. Evil here. But why would they be selling it to an ally? One thing, they don't mean any harm against the U.S. They just want to get the fuck out of here. That doesn't, $100,000, this isn't even a down payment. It could be that they are in with these people. They're looking at giving it to them, an allied nation. That's the way they're looking at it, is these are the people, they're thinking that everything's going to shit. And if there's going to be another world war, which is what everybody will want if everything goes to shit, if people get their way, we got another world war coming. And the world is so sick of this shit. Most of the world has progressed beyond just war as a solution. And so this guy's probably giving it to somebody that he thinks has a shot at keeping us in line and bringing us back down a path, not the same one we were on, but one that they're with that seems to work already. If they can beat us, they're doing something right. All they need is a nuclear sub. Should have talked to Dan Aykroyd. Truth or Consequence? If we're going to sing hero songs, I got to take my shirt off because rarely a day when I was in the Army when I didn't have my shirt off. Oh, airborne. So the thing is, then we get to talking about how things are going and all the arguments that are being made, and I see the contrails in the sky, and I think the day we don't see airplanes anymore, there's going to be trouble. That means everything's just fucking gone to shit to the point where we can't even get us in the air anymore without somebody fucking shooting an RPG at us. Rocket propelled grenade launcher.
Not role-playing game.
Yeah.
Different.
But the thing is, I was drifting. I was going into a meditative state. Did you see that? And the thing is, we were talking about if the world is going that way, and this guy's like trying to save us, which he's making some money off it in the process, just like Judas did those 30 silver pieces. They got to make you take something. So if that's all he's taking, he's doing it to save our nation. There. Totally treason.
So
I mean,
it
that's
always goes out.
yeah. That's the Benedict Arnold of our time. But you need one every once in a while. But if it's all going to shit like that, everybody, all they care about is just this easy stuff to talk about, like the borders, and they're taking children away from their parents and all this, and they're saying, and I once heard a girl say that in a room full of people that did not appreciate what she was saying, and it was the only thing said in the room for about 30 seconds, and nobody addressed it. Taken away. And I saw that David Pakman guy, he was talking to Jesse Lee Peterson. They sat there for 53 minutes. It took me a long time to get through because, gosh, it's sometimes hard to explain something to somebody that just doesn't get it. He kept calling himself this Jesse Lee Peterman. He said, I'm going to say it. He said, you have to pardon me. I'm black and I'm slow. You sure seem to put a lot of thought into the things that you're fucking making up over here to whatever. It was just wild. And I like, oh. And never did David Pakman argue with him about that. Sure, he's black. There's no hiding it. And he's slow. There's no hiding it. He didn't have any rebuttal at all, ever, to Jesse Lee Peterson saying, I'm black, I'm slow. By not addressing it, he was acknowledging it. Yes, you are right on both counts. What those things have to do with each other, I don't know, but it's the truth, and I can't argue it. So yeah, and he says, what about, they're taking away the children at the border, people are complaining about that, but nobody complains about, a mother going to jail and there are children left at home and Pakman there. He says, actually they do. There are people that care very much about that. And he's like, oh. And I'm thinking, here it is. It all comes around. If you want to think about taking children, because the Tevis had small children. Mm-hmm. They're in their 40s and they have small children. Both those parents are going to go to jail for life. They've taken them away from their children.
You can bust into the Capitol and break shit up, but
and
don't
you
pass
don't even get a tether
peanut butter
in some cases.
jelly sandwich. That's where you went wrong.
It wasn't as much of a jiffy as you thought it was.
You get life.
You're cool. You get life. But there it is. So now we ask again the question. For a family, if it's as bad as it could be and they're selling our secrets to foreign relations to overrun us and make the whole world attack us and get us in line, if we don't agree with that, let's say that it's an evil thing that happened. These people were right there at the onset of it. They risked their children. Are these people, if they are really treasonous in a way that you want to think of treason and terrorism and all this, should they have access to their children? What are they going to get out of that? So there's the answer to your question. That's the next question. Don't just talk about people going to jail. What about these people? They're our friends, right? Am I supposed to?
Yeah, no, it just occurred to me. I wonder if it was them. I just want to know who it was.
What if it was what if it were Afghanistan that they were selling it to?
We don't know.
Well, they're in the desert. They don't have any submarines.
Well, but they got all of our other weapons now.
Det cord. It was det cord. That's the one thing that stood out most to me when we were leaving Iraq, and there were just crates of AK-47s and weapons all over the place, still in the packing grease. And what you're like, well, these people can take care of themselves. I guess we're leaving all this shit for them. I guess if they really mean it, they can pick up and take arms against what we left behind. They should be kind of weak right now. We blew up the rice, and then you look, and there's clothesline made out of det cord. People were washing their clothes and using the detonation cord for hooking up explosives. They were using det cord as clotheslines. And so you can either say, well, maybe they were never really into this fight to begin with and they're peaceful people, or they're just not good at what they do. They're not warriors. I love you, baby.
I love you too.
They took them away from their cat. Siete.